Hey, Sooner Football fans. This is your Sooner Football Fans podcast. You got Terry and Rob here. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.
Coming at you once again from the podcast palace from beautiful Norman, Oklahoma, or in beautiful Norman, Oklahoma, where you need to hit the subscribe button, follow button, like button, love button, stalk button, whatever button is there for you to push to follow us on whatever feed you're listening to us on. Push it now. Please become a Sooner Football fan follower. I sounded kind of like Charlie Manson there, didn't I?
You just creeped out the three people that are listening.
But always remember, Rob, what?
We are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma.
But we do have eligibility left.
So the three people that are creeped out, they probably didn't see the van photo that you
the van photo, yeah,
free candy.
Yeah,
and listen, buddy, I'm getting the candy before I get the van. Okay,
that's that's all Lori's doing. So we'll just leave it at that. Lori, you and the candy bus or candy van, but. Sooners getting ready this weekend. Oh, but by the way, this is also your Tailgate Like a Champion podcast, so we'll have our other guests on here in a little bit. But this weekend, the Sooners are hosting the mighty Kansas Jayhawkers.
Well, they're better, right? I mean, 3 games better than they were last year.
Well, yeah, so...
And they rank higher than us in most defensive categories.
Well,
I mean, so
does everybody else in the country, Rob. So that doesn't say anything.
It just means they might be a little better than us on defense. Is all.
Oh, let's not talk about the defense today.
You got it.
So did you go home the other night when we did the podcast and watch Incredibles 2?
No.
Oh my gosh!
Is it out? I thought is it not?
Yeah,
the
it's
movies?
out.
What?
I'll just tell you. Okay, Saul is one of the main characters in it.
Yeah?
Yeah, he plays the tycoon guy.
Okay.
And then I'm sitting there and I'm watching it. You've seen the first one, right?
Yeah.
They have the old man that, he's kind of their cleaner that comes and talks to them. The superheroes do. And I'm sitting there going, whose voice is it? I know who that is. It's Mike.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. From Breaking Bad and Saul. I was like, it's Mike. And then I was starting to wait on Walt and everybody else to come into the movie. But yeah, so
I can go do a search on it or something?
Yeah.
I can find it?
Yeah, it's out there on your Amazon Prime or Amazon regular, Amazonian.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't either. I'm just rattling off whatever people watch movies on nowadays.
All right.
We got so many dang channels on my TV here at the house. I don't know what to watch anymore. We got like 300 and something on the satellite.
Good.
We got Amazon Prime, YouTube, Hulu, Bulu,
Network,
Netflix. Yeah. It's like, why do I even have a satellite dish?
I don't even have any of that. I got Direct TV Now, which is just an app that plays over my smart TV. Other than that, I don't have any kind of service at all.
Yeah. I think that's what we're going to go to. Because you can pretty much watch anything. It all eventually comes out on Netflix, Amazon, and everything else. But, I think we've talked about this before because Amazon and Netflix and Hulu and those places have already said they're going to go after college football. When you can watch college football on your Netflix and choose the game you want to watch.
Oh, man.
Guess what happens to ESPN?
Well, they go back to being or they continue to be the SEC homers that they are.
Yeah. Can you imagine, every game you just go to your Netflix and go, I want to watch the Oklahoma Sooners and pay $1.99 or whatever it is to $5.99. It certainly won't be $69.95.
$69.95 to watch Army.
Yeah, or to watch the Blue Waves of whoever.
Yeah.
Who are the Blue Waves?
I don't know, but you know what? If Alabama's game with Citadel this weekend is televised, then it's a crime. I mean, that's ridiculous. Citadel.
Yeah.
Do you even know what their mascot is?
Is it a knight?
Citadel Knights?
I don't know. I thought you did the way you asked it. Was
no, I don't know.
I thought the way do you even know what? I thought it was you were going to, give me some knowledge here.
No, I can't help you out.
I can
Google it on up.
Yeah, why don't you Google it on up and see what a Citadel is? Maybe they're the Citadel Siddles.
You're just not making a whole lot of sense tonight.
Well, have you ever Sand Springs? You know what this Sand Springs mascot is? And Winston, we'll go ahead and talk about mascots again.
Sand Springs?
Sandites. What's a sandite?
No, I don't
know. we'll Google that on up.
Let's see. The Citadel. It's a military college. So, the Military College of South Carolina.
Okay. I knew it was a military college.
Approximately 1 in 3 cadets earns a commission into the United States Armed Forces upon graduation. Okay.
Yeah.
Spotlights. Let's see. The Mighty Citadel
is a. Oh my gosh, Rob.
Well, there's a lot of fluff in here.
What did you Google Citadel football?
Corps of Cadets, Graduate College,
or Google what's the Citadel football mascot?
I'm gonna do that.
Good grief. Rob's not very technologically advanced.
Is for sure.
He barely knows how to Twitter.
That's for sure too. The Citadel mascot
is.
I'm still.
My God.
It's got to be here. The campus. Let's see.
And say if we were live, people could call us.
But let's see, 300-acre space.
Oh my God.
Dang it, man.
Maybe it's just the Citadel.
Founded in 1842.
It doesn't say what the mascot is.
Well, not yet.
Rob, if I flip over here to the laptop and type that in, do you think I'll
could probably be
find it before you will? Citadel. Sorry to bore everybody to death right now.
They're all just wondering how long it's going to take me to find this.
Yeah, everybody now sitting on their edge of their seat. Google.
The 4 pillars.
Citadel.
Dare to lead. Come on now. I got to get to this before Terry does. Athletics. Athletics. That's got to be in there. Okay.
Bulldogs.
Dang it! I was right there. Man.
I'm guessing it's the. Let's see. Yeah, it's the Citadel Bulldogs.
And they're light blue.
Yeah. I would have never thought the Citadel would be called the Bulldogs, though.
Well. Oh well.
What's their mascot look like? Is he?
I don't know. I didn't shut it off now.
Oh my gosh!
But it's ridiculous that Alabama's playing the Citadel.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, I mean they did beat Samford and his son. They beat WCU.
I don't know what their mascot is.
VMI. Towson. They got beat by Chattanooga. North Carolina. Wolford beat them.
I mean, I guess they may be sitting back saying the same thing about Kansas. What do you think?
Well, but we don't have a choice. We got to play Kansas. Yeah. It's in our conference. I mean, that's kind of like, what's the team? And there's a couple, Tennessee, for one right now. I just went blank. What's some other down team? Arkansas.
Oh, yeah.
Arkansas is just
whooping on them.
Arkansas.
Oh, you mean if we played the lower half of the SEC?
Oh, yeah.
You know, Vanderbilt and Arkansas.
Yeah.
You know, we probably give Florida a pretty good whipping.
Yeah. So
you know, I think we talked about this, but somebody on the radio brought it up the other day that the Big 12 should get rid of one conference game late in the year and play a out of conference team.
Yeah.
And this would be a great week to do that.
Yeah.
You know, just skip the Kansas game because it absolutely just doesn't do anything for us.
Yeah.
In fact, really, it just hurts us because if they hang around and we only beat them by 10 points or 17 points, and they're like, oh,
yep.
But if we played a South Florida, who that's not a great example, but, North Carolina State.
Yeah.
Or, some big team and put a good whipping on them, North Carolina, something like that, Wisconsin. I don't know.
Yeah.
It would help us.
Play, when or just make one of the 3 non-conference games later in the year. Which is basically what the SEC does. And they schedule the Little Sisters of the Poor conference, and because I think they all play people out of this conference this week. I think it's an agreement SEC teams play this whole conference or something like that.
Oh, really? Because I was thinking Tennessee had Tennessee Auburn or something was this week.
Oh, maybe, I don't know. But it's terrible. But
So how do you feel about us playing on Friday next week?
I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like it. I don't like the juju. I like football games on Saturday.
We're not the only game on Friday, are we?
We might. I think they have games on Friday, and then
I think there's an SEC team playing same time slot.
Really?
I think.
I don't know. I kind of thought that's what they were doing this year. I'll have to look it up, but that they started doing is because there's no pro football. Pro football has Thanksgiving Day, and then college football. They play like I thought it was, there's an 11 o'clock game, a 2:30 game, and then a night game. But I'm probably 100% completely wrong with that, but I just thought it.
I prefer to watch college over pro any day.
Yeah.
But I don't think you are in the same boat with
No,
me.
no, I'd rather I love college football. It's my favorite, but, I don't mind Sunday afternoons and my Steelers, and then the Red Zone is the greatest channel ever, NFL Red Zone.
Yeah, if I was going to sit and watch pro football all day, I'd probably watch the Red Zone.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a fan of football just overall.
Yeah. But I don't, if my choice is Tennessee and, Minnesota, I don't have really any. I'm going to watch it on Sunday because that's all you can watch for football-wise. But with the Red Zone, I just put it on that, and I want that guy's job. Okay?
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool.
The one guy that sits there for, 8 hours and says, hey, we're going to switch you over to the Steelers-Cowboys game. The Titans are getting ready to score here against the Vikings. How hard of a job is that?
Be pretty nice.
So,
does he pay them or do they pay him?
I don't know. I would be willing to pay a little bit to get it. But, we are playing Kansas this week. Obviously, we are overlooking Kansas. Any chance the Sooners overlook Kansas?
Even if they are, Terry, there's just not enough gas in the tank north of the Oklahoma border for them to. Even if they hung around with us, we'd have to play the worst game that we played all season for them to even stay close to us. I think.
Kind of like Army.
Yeah.
Army is going to end up being in the top 25. It looks like so.
They're pretty good actually.
So, well, let's just did you hear the big announcement today with the college football playoffs?
I don't guess I did.
Oh man, they've been pushing it for the last 2 days. They are now having like a festival during the weekend of.
And that means what?
Kind of like the NFL. It's a 3-day event now. Let's see, they got groups coming and singing on. Let's see, on Friday, January 4th, they have Alicia Cara.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Okay.
And on Sunday, January 6th, they have Ellie Goulding.
Yeah.
You know her?
I'm not really drawn to anything that you've said so far. So
on Saturday, January 5th, Leon Bridges.
Is this like random folks, or are these people famous?
They're supposed to be famous.
Oh, okay.
Grammy Award winning.
Come sing. I can break out in some song.
Saturday, January 5th, J-Rock.
Who?
J-Rock.
Okay.
Saturday, January 5th, Logic.
These must be. I don't know any of these people. I don't listen to music unless it's 80s rock.
Sunday, January,
which is the greatest.
Sunday, January 6th is One Republic.
I just want you to acknowledge that I just said that.
You said, yeah. Okay, 80s rock is the greatest music ever. So we got this great lineup. Man, I am sorry I can't afford to go out there and miss all these groups and stuff going on that weekend. I thought they were going to say, "Hey, we're expanding it to 8 teams this year." But
Yeah.
that would have been awesome. It'd have been better news than
If they expand it to 8 teams, they're going to need some maybe some prop guys or something. We could go out and get jobs or something.
yeah. But hey, this is really it's an important weekend in Big 12 football.
This weekend is?
Yes, this weekend is. Because right now it's kind of a 4-dog race.
I thought it was down to 3.
Well, it just depends on what happens at Iowa State and Texas.
So if Texas beats Iowa State, they can get themselves back in it?
Because if we lose to
West Virginia,
Texas is in.
Well,
yeah. So it's right now
something to play for.
Yeah. If Iowa State beats Texas, it's a 3-dog race. Okay. At that point in time, West Virginia's playing Okie Stank, and they'll probably stank it up.
Yeah.
Which no, they'll probably come out and play like the frickin' New England Patriots.
Bears.
Yeah, and then just beat the hell out of West Virginia, and it'll take them out of the top 10 and hurt us. That's
Right.
that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, little brother probably did it on purpose too.
Yeah, and
let's lose this game.
We're the only one with every game matters, of course, but we're the only one. West Virginia and Texas and Iowa State, they got a tough, row to hoe this weekend.
Yeah,
but if Texas wins, it's a 3-dog race at that point in time, and if West Virginia beats us, it's Texas West Virginia.
Okay.
Okay. If Iowa State wins and we beat West Virginia, it's us and Iowa State. Yeah, if Iowa State wins, yeah, correct. I am right.
Would you rather play Iowa State or West Virginia?
I don't know. West Virginia's gotten better as the year has gone on. They're playing pretty tough football right now. They're 6-3.
I think I'd rather play the better defense
Yeah.
than the better offense.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a big weekend except for us. I mean, obviously most people are expecting, a blowout win. I think it's a 30-something point spread. So
yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Especially when it's going to be so cold.
Yeah. Texas is like I said, Texas is 5-2 in the conference. What's funny is if Texas loses, well, wait a second. Let's see. Texas has got to play one more game after this. I don't know who they play. I think they play Kansas after this. Texas isn't going to have Texas won't have another 10-win season. They're not going to have a 10-win season this year.
That's because they suck.
Well, unless they win their bowl game. So
you remember that year they lost to Kansas?
Yeah, 2 years ago. Wouldn't that be priceless if that happened again? But but if Texas loses, they will not, even with the bowl win, they won't have a 10-win season. So, which is means Texas is back.
So one more win for us, and there's some dude from West Virginia, I think, that's got a chew on a dog turd. Is that what
I believe so. I believe he's from West Virginia. Now he's trying to back out of it.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, it's all right. Guys.
Boy.
Y'all got the joke. Ha ha ha.
I mean, I don't blame him. I would do it too, but
yeah.
But I'm not going to get out there and go.
I think you and I made it clear when we started the podcast. Somebody else did that last year. Okay, just so everybody knows, if you ever hear Rob and I say, if that happens, I will eat a pile of dog turds, it's a joke. We don't mean it.
I'm not ever going to say that. Just FYI. I'm not.
I'm just clarifying it in case,
I'm not doing that.
A mental slip up. It's a joke.
I do plenty of other stupid stuff.
Yeah.
That's not one of them that I'm going to do.
Yeah. So, but, and then, of course, no change in the top 10 of the college football playoff. That was easy for them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But, there's a little talk of how does Kentucky stay at 15 after losing to Tennessee, or only drop to 15 after losing to Tennessee.
How are any of them up there? LSU.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, it is my firm belief, and even Oklahoma is benefiting from it, is they are keeping those SEC teams and Big 12 teams and other teams that these teams have played higher ranked to keep the quality of wins for those.
It certainly seems that way,
Yeah.
but it seems more like it's benefiting the SEC teams than it is.
Yeah,
anybody
but it
else.
benefits us that Texas is highly, is still in the top 15.
Yeah.
Because that's a quote quality loss. We lost to a top 15 team.
They lost to Polk State.
Yeah, but it's a quality loss for us. You see what I'm saying? It makes no sense that they're there. It just seems to me that this committee is blatantly, whether they realize it or not, leaving teams ranked. Because there's no way, if Alabama loses a game, they get knocked out of the top 4.
Right.
No way, because their loss will be to a quote. They've beaten so many quality teams that a loss doesn't matter.
Yeah, the
Not
thing
fair.
is, the SEC really could set the schedule the way they want it.
Right.
I don't think that they would ever do that. I don't think Alabama would say, "Listen, we want 2 SEC teams in this thing, so we're gonna go ahead and let Georgia just
beat us."
I don't think anybody would ever do that.
No, Nick Saban doesn't have that in his DNA.
And I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to do that either, but they could.
Yeah. But that's the nightmare scenario that we had last year that it would happen again this year. If Georgia beats them in the SEC title game, it's 2 SEC teams in.
Yeah. And that would be our worst nightmare.
Yeah,
because we're not getting it.
I still think Notre Dame can lose. They've got
Syracuse.
They got the Qs, the Orangemen,
Yeah,
and they got the Trojans.
I really thought if they were going to go down, they would lose to Northwestern because Northwestern's solid.
Yeah,
but no, they handle them pretty well, which tells me Notre Dame's a little better than I thought they were. I guess.
No, they're not.
You don't think so?
Nope. If Florida State was any good, if Florida State was an average Florida State, it'd have been a better game than that. But
they may be the worst team in Florida.
Yeah,
I'm not joking. They could be worse than
UCF
and Florida Atlantic International and International School of Florida or whatever.
Miami.
They got like 100 schools over there. So
yeah, I know. But anyway, so not much until somebody loses. Nothing's going to happen to that, and we may not have a loss until the championship games.
Might not. Which which puts Georgia out.
You're right, puts Georgia out.
But that just makes it Clemson, Notre Dame, and Michigan.
Yeah, and Michigan, they got to play Ohio State at the Shoe, and then they'll have to play Northwestern in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
they already beat Northwestern though. Or did they?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Oh well. We really don't know what we're talking about, guys. So
not much.
If y'all haven't realized that, I
don't think we're going to jump anybody if it all stays the same. If everybody wins out, I don't think we're jumping Michigan. I don't think we're jumping Notre Dame.
The only way we're going to jump Michigan is if we just beat the hell out of West Virginia twice in a row. When I say I'm talking like what we've been saying, 55-21.
Yeah.
Unless we do that, we're not jumping anybody.
Yeah, I don't know if they continue to play defense the way they've been playing it, they're going to put that defense in the Final Four.
Yeah,
and that may be more of a draw for them than a Kyler Tua matchup.
Yeah,
but you know what? I think it would be pretty intriguing to see the Oklahoma offense against the Michigan defense.
That's what everybody's preaching now, and even Cowherd is preaching. Oklahoma is the only team that'll give. Georgia and Oklahoma are the only 2 teams that would basically challenge Alabama. That would make it interesting.
Yeah. He also said that Michigan wouldn't stand a chance against them. I don't know about that.
Yeah. What I do know is they wouldn't shut us out. I think an Oklahoma-Alabama game would be just like the Rose Bowl last year. It'd be a 65-60, 65-64. Just, I don't think anybody can stop this offense for very long. Oklahoma State did it. Georgia did a little bit like I don't really think they stop it as much as Lincoln Riley is still new to this head coaching and play calling thing. He outthinks himself sometimes.
Yeah, he needs to get out of his own way sometimes, I think.
because, in the third quarter of that Oklahoma State game, we were still trying to toss the ball around and be fancy with it when we were getting 9 yards a carry with, running backs.
Yeah, 9.8 or whatever it was.
So, and I think that's what you're going to see Oklahoma do against West Virginia next week, is you're going to see Oklahoma try to control the ball, but Oklahoma's offense gets in its own way because they score in 4 plays.
Right.
Whether it's a running play, a pass play, or anything else, they still score in 6 minutes.
Well, I have not seen West Virginia play a game all year. I have not watched them play. So I don't know if they can play defense or if they can't.
I've watched bits and pieces, not a full game. Only reason why I really watch I watched the end of the Texas game. I watched the end of the Iowa State game, and then just bits and pieces. I just like watching Holgerson's bald mullet flop around. But anyway, again, it's Kansas. What else can we say? Hopefully, the Oklahoma Sooner football team is taking this much more serious than Rob and I are at this point in time.
I just hope that the Sooners don't get caught jayhawking.
On the way to the stadium.
Yeah.
But we do have our tailgate show here that we're going to get everybody on here in just a few minutes. But we want to remind everybody that if you're in Norman, to come by the corner of Jenkins and Brooks. That's on the northeast corner of Jenkins and Brooks, right across from the football stadium. Right across from the northeast corner of the football stadium, right in the middle of all the tailgates there is where our tailgate is
Due east of the field house.
Yeah. If you know where the old field house is, we're just straight east of it. And if you know where, what is it, the University Sooner, where they have all the, what's that called? Fan Fest. We're just south of the Fan Fest.
Yep. And the Roughnecks post up in there.
Yep, the Roughnecks are in there. A bunch of great people. But everybody's welcome to stop by, say hi. I thought we were having tacos. I'm still pretty sure we're having tacos, but wife's going to make up some tacos, Teresa is, and we'll have beverages. But, I always, encourage people to bring their own because you may not like what I drink. But
did you, I know you did see the footage Monday Night Football with the with the Roughnecks that the president fell out of the back.
Yeah, we were sitting here watching it together.
Yeah, that's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, they made Monday Night Football. It was "Come on, man," isn't that what it is? Yeah. So Chase, that was. Hope he's better now. Rhett said last night he's still pretty banged up and sore,
scraped up a little bit.
Yeah, got some grass burns on him.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, they've made several ESPNs. Did we ever find out if one of them ever did an interview?
I haven't spoken with him since then, so I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, like I said, everybody come out to our tailgate, and you probably I can take you over and introduce you to Chase, the guy who fell out of the wagon. So, but we're going to mix it up. Everybody has stuff going on this week. So actually, we're going to get Dan Donnelly from Tailgate Connect on with us first, and then we'll work our way through whoever is available when everybody's done. So let's get to Big Dan. All right, Sooner fans on the phone all the way from somewhere out in California. Dan asked to come on early because he's going to another Barry Manilow concert tonight, apparently. But we have a Sooner fan and the owner of Tailgate Connect, Dan Donnelly. Boomer, Dan.
Boomer, Terry. Boomer, Rob. How are you guys?
Doing great, my friend. How are you?
Doing wonderful. And there is some truth to that Barry Manilow thing, as Terry and I had been texting earlier in the week about the worst concerts that we were ever forced to go to by our wives.
Yeah.
And truth be told, it was when my wife turned 40, I took her to Las Vegas for her birthday weekend. And I said, we'll go to a show. And I said, the only limits I have on the show is no Celine Dion. And she's like, okay. And then she had this big smile. She goes, you mean anybody? Yeah, sure, anybody. She goes, I've always liked Barry Manilow since I was a little kid. And I'm like, holy crap! I did not cast my net wide enough. So sure enough, I'm not going to put tears in the girl's eye. I had to go through with it, and I sat there as one miserable SOB during that entire Barry Manilow concert. And there was another guy sitting next to me who was apparently in the same exact boat, because his wife is up shaking her bonbon, my wife's up shaking her bonbon, and he and I are just sitting there freaking miserable. But so there's truth. There is they called me Danilo the Fanilo after I went to that. I took quite a bit of ribbing from a lot of people for years on that, and I'm still seeking therapy over it. But,
well, my wife has never actually drugged me to a bad concert. She wants to go see Kelly Clarkson. I don't. But
Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah. I'm not sure I could sit through that one either. But
I mean, she's gone to see Iron Maiden with me. She's gone to see Van Halen. She likes Van Halen. The last couple.
Who doesn't?
Oh yeah, exactly. The last couple of years, we've gone to see Styx, Night Ranger. But how this all came about, one of the guys, a friend of ours that came to the tailgate, I introduced him to Dan, and me and Caleb and him and his wife met at the Night Ranger concert in Shawnee, and he was wearing an Iron Maiden shirt, and and we've become pretty good friends. And we were talking about at the tailgate, we're going to go down to Dallas because they're doing Iron Maiden's doing a North American tour, and I think I told you this, Rob, that I found out that when we're going to be in California for the UCLA game, that night, Iron Maiden is playing in Los Angeles at the Bank of California Stadium. And I was like, oh my God, what are the chances of that? Score, yeah. So I messaged my son, actually, and told him, hey, guess what? When we're going to be down there for the UCLA game, Maiden's going to be there. And just left it at that. So maybe
you have to hope for the game time gods to come through so you can hit both on the same day.
Yeah, because I know they won't have an 11 o'clock game, will they? It would probably. What time do games start out there in California?
No, so the earliest you would get would probably be 12 to 12:30.
That's what I'm figuring it would be, because that would be a 2:30 game here.
Yeah, 2:30 there, and then oftentimes when you have Pac-12 on Pac-12, you will get that 8 o'clock game on the West Coast, which I doubt they would do that since they're going to play somebody from the Central Time Zone.
Right. So I'm guessing it's going to be a 12:30 game. We're out by 5:30.
Just in time to get to the concert.
Yeah, and how far? That's only probably about a 30-minute drive from what I could gather on the Rose Bowl.
Wait, you're talking Los Angeles?
Well, yeah, okay.
30 minutes as a bird flies. It could be 3 days to get
yeah.
by car.
But that's. I mean, it's funny you say. I've been to L.A. twice. Okay, in the last year, the only time I've ever been there, and I've never really had any. I mean, and we've been in heavy traffic, but I've never. Okay. I mean, I've been on the 405. I haven't really been stuck in traffic yet. I've been in really, really, really heavy traffic where all 8 lanes are nothing but screaming cars, but I haven't experienced bad traffic there yet. Got honked at once.
I'm going to knock on wood for you right now.
Okay.
Because it's I'd say 90% of the time. The funny thing about LA traffic is, we live 6 hours north from the LA basin, but we go through there for vacation to San Diego, or used to have an office down there too.
Yeah.
And 9 out of 10 times it can be any day of the week, any hour. It's just backed up, complete gridlock, and there's no way to divert that. Even if you get off on the side roads, same thing.
Yeah.
So Bay Area traffic is bad enough, but literally it's probably a 3x factor in Los Angeles versus what we have up here.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Dan, you're kind of playing into the theme of this podcast. Is we're kind of overlooking Kansas this week.
I see that. I see that on. I see that on Twitter.
Yeah, it's like we're just hoping the Sooners aren't overlooking Kansas, but it's Kansas. I mean, Rob made the point is you know, they got a better defense than we do according to stats in the Big 12. And I said,
The
well,
stats prove it.
so does everybody else in the country. So,
Yeah, good point. Good point.
So, okay, I'm going to put you on the spot here, though. Rank our tailgate.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was fantastic. Here's what I was going to say about it. I mean, you just got this thing up and going this year.
Yeah.
But what's nice is you are like a conduit for all kinds of different people to, come in, pop in, say hi. I mean, not everybody has to stay the whole time.
Right.
But it was awesome. I met so many, different people, some that are, the Twitter followers and other people from your podcast world, but then just, friends of yours and, other friends of friends, that kind of thing. And,
yeah.
Like I said, I got a great ticket. I paid $30 for my ticket.
Wow.
Probably was going for about $200 out on the street.
What else did you have to do for that ticket?
Well, we're not going to talk about that on air right now. There are certain laws that could be violated and things like that. But, but no, I thought it was awesome. What a beautiful day it was too.
Oh yeah.
Weather's a little crisp, but the blue skies and my whole take on it is, I've been to a number of games in Norman, but this one just had so much electricity to it before the game. Just walking from where we parked, to your tailgate tent, it was really vibrant. I mean, it was pretty amazing feeling. Probably because you had more Oak State fans there than you would normally some other teams' fans that were actually tailgating and getting into the mix as well.
Yeah.
But no, I was impressed. That was probably by far and away the most fun I've seen on game day there before.
Well, and it's always. I think you're right. The electricity in the air was Army was like that too. There was just people excited about Army being there.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think Bedlam is that way all the time. It's just people are excited that hey, it's a big game.
Right.
I think Sooner fans were excited because they were 100% believing we were going to go in there and beat them 55-10. And yeah, thank God they ain't got a kicker.
Rob, quarterback.
Rob's the one who he picked the score. His was
really close.
Yeah, I think you got it at 48-47.
Oh, I did?
Yeah. So
that's back-to-back weeks
yes.
that I was spot on. Back-to-back weeks.
That's awesome, Rob. That is awesome.
So we're going to Vegas this weekend, and but
Rain Man Rob.
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. He's a really good driver, but I think it shocked everybody that it was so close. And if you're on Twitter and here locally, and you listen to our last podcast, there's a lot of people upset. Toby Rowland's morning show this week on Monday, he was like, he understands it, but he's like, people are more upset when Oklahoma wins than they are when they lose anymore.
Well,
yeah,
we're spoiled.
Yeah, we're still winning though. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we look bad in the win, but we win.
It doesn't matter,
But you win.
Yeah,
you win.
And I think what bothers everybody is the state that Oklahoma is in right now in the playoffs is. It's not just about wins and losses now. You have to look pretty in what you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
And you've got 6 teams, really 7 teams, maybe 8 that are really vying for these 4 spots. And 4 of those teams play each other. Mm-hmm. Georgia and Alabama and us and West Virginia. So take somebody out there, but then you're down to 6. And you got 2 people trying to look prettier than 3 and 4. And if you're undefeated, you're in. I mean, it's just that simple. The 3 undefeated teams, if they go undefeated, they're in.
They're in.
And so we've got to win out and look better than what Michigan does in the rest of their wins.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. And, it was interesting, sitting with the the group of Oklahoma fans. We were there with your friends, the ones that sold me the ticket as
Yeah.
well, and we were in the Oak State section above the band, but I'd say it was about 80% Sooner fans.
Yeah.
That were in that section.
Oh yeah,
I'm not sure
they sent a bunch of tickets back.
Yeah, they must have.
Yeah.
It was fun. Everyone was good-natured in the area. But what was pretty evident, and the commentary in our section was, it just looked like, and then I also watched the game again on Tuesday, it just looked like there wasn't effort on defense. And people were sitting there saying that the whole time in the stands. And then I watched the game, and now, on top of that, I start hearing the talking heads, like there was just no effort.
Yeah.
And go back to the first two games when Ruffin took over, and there seemed like there was great effort. I remember even saying this on your podcast that, they were hitting. They were actually bringing the wood for the first time, this year. But here's what I saw when I broke the game down, watching it in, on replay, is that it's kind of like, you, me, and Rob standing around watching the guy run by us, thinking that, one of the other two are going to make the tackle, not me.
Or covering.
So you get him, Rob. Yeah, you get him. And it was weird. I mean, watch, if you go back and watch any of those plays, you'll see what I mean. It's like, holy smoke. Whatever happened to everybody go for the damn ball?
Yeah.
And try to make a
FYI,
play. So there just was. What was that, Rob? Sorry.
I said, just FYI, I'll get him.
Yeah, good, thanks, Rob.
If we were all three standing there, me and you get to stand around. Rob will go do it. So.
I'll get him. Yeah.
Jerry and I will just chase him to Rob and play. So yeah, there clearly was a lack of effort, and that always baffles me why you're giving a receiver a 9 to 11 yard cushion on 3rd and 7. Plays like that is just I'm not a defensive coordinator, but I just don't understand it.
Do you get to watch Lincoln's coach's show that he does at Rudy's?
No.
Ever at all? Okay.
No, because he was asked that question.
I did see. I saw a clip of that when he was saying that they were trying to force him to go over the top or something.
Well, no,
take away the run game.
And when he said that, I kind of backed up. Was like, well, their first 2 touchdowns, Oklahoma State was over the top. They beat us deep. So if we're going to beat us deep, would rather let them catch it in front of us, force them a little bit. I get that, but still, it's. I'm with you, and the defensive back. That's what we've talked about. Rob and I have is the defensive backfield is just terrible.
Yeah, and Dan, I think Terry and I are in agreement that Ruffin McNeil is probably not the DC next year. I think going forward, we're going to probably need somebody dynamic.
Somebody else coming in.
Yeah.
Rob and I are starting a prayer chain for that.
let me play devil's advocate on it though too, because the one thing I heard in our section too, they're like, yeah, but wait till he gets his own guys in.
No.
Is it the guys or is it the coaching?
No.
I mean, to me, it seems like we got some pretty good athletes. Maybe not Alabama on the defensive side of the ball across the board, but I don't know. It seems like we have good athletes that just aren't being utilized to their fullest, I guess.
I don't know if it's utilized or the best term, and I can't even think of the term now. See, here's how smart I am, is term for being brought along, right?
Coach?
Nurtured or
it's they're not progressing. And progressing isn't game coaching, it's off-season coaching,
Right.
And that defensive backfield, and I'm with you. And that's what I was telling Rob, and Caleb. That's the first thing Caleb said when we came out to back out to the tailgate, and there were 2 and 3 guys open on every stinking play. Okay, when that they threw the ball, and being there in person, you could see it, and you would just see guys just break open across that zone. They would set in the zone. Even when we were in man, the guy would release because he's got a guy over the top. Well, the guy over the top wasn't covering. The guy, he was loafing. And the best example of that, there was a wheel route ran twice right at my corner, back-to-back plays. A bad throw, and the next one, it was a bad throw and then a miss. But the guy was wide open both times, the exact same play. Now, how does that happen between the same 2 players?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think you can sum. I think you can sum the whole thing up when you take a step back, and if you didn't watch the game or know the participants, but when you give up 501 yards to a guy nicknamed Corn Dog, I think that pretty much says it all.
That says it all, doesn't it?
But
it can't get any worse.
Me and Rob, beat our own drum and we beat it to death sometimes. But our saying is, once again, our Oklahoma defense made a bad or average quarterback look like an all-pro.
Yeah. Crazy.
That guy hasn't.
Yeah.
501 yards.
Well, I said there was a bright side to this, though.
What is that?
Corn Dog's actually a quarterback and not a backup linebacker. Right? Okay. So
because he'd have thrown for 700.
Hey, silver lining. You got to find your silver linings.
That's a good point. Good point.
But I mean, I'm with everybody on when they had to get a stop. I guess they did. They stopped the 2-point conversion. Now, there's debate whether that was a good throw or not, whether it would have been intercepted, if it was a good throw. Bottom line is they didn't score it, and we basically beat them with special teams. We kicked 2 field goals, made all of our extra points. They missed a field goal and missed an extra point and got a turnover.
Crucial.
And had a turnover.
Yeah.
That's the game.
Excuse me. That's what it came down to.
Yeah.
It was an ugly victory, but I mean, who knows that that last pass was not where it should have been, and I think Brown made a decent play on it, but had it been up at his hand level, I don't know if Brown would have gotten there.
Yeah.
It looked to be kind of low and behind a little bit, but
it was.
And switching to the Kansas game, I'm properly motivated as a fan. I never used to think anything about Kansas before last year. Just like, oh, poor Kansas, they're kind of pathetic. They've been the Mangino years. But after last year, with the not shaking of the hands and the trash talking and the dirty hits during that game, I certainly hope the guys that were there last year remember that.
Oh, yeah. They will.
That was an ugly game. And, they were very arrogant with no need to be arrogant, being at the bottom of the Big 12. Right. And it didn't work for them. I think it just showed them, that they were quite classless, frankly.
Yeah.
And, I love Baker's thing that, you're a basketball school.
Yeah.
Well, they are.
Go play basketball. Right.
Go play basketball, exactly. And, hopefully we won't have any quarterbacks getting suspended for a quarter or whatever this time.
Yeah. A play
for making gestures back at him, but if need be, we'll support that quarterback.
Yeah,
gestures.
Gestures.
Yes. So, where are you headed this week for your tailgate?
All right. You remember how I told you I had a secret to share with you that was probably more humiliating than being dragged to a Barry Manilow concert?
Yeah.
Rob, are you sitting?
I am.
Make sure Rob's restrained right now, okay? All right. Well, I have this business, this Tailgate Connect, and I've got hosts all over the nation. By the way, I want to sign you up as a host after last week. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But I am, guys, I'm going deep in the heart. I'm going down to Austin, Texas. Rob, are you okay?
He's quivering.
I'm locked up here, Dan. You're not going to wear orange, are you?
So I'm going in undercover, guys. I'm wearing an Iowa State hat and all this kind of stuff. But we've got a host from Tailgate Connect. His tailgate is usually like 500 people, and
Jeez.
he's got a general admission tent, then he has a VIP tent, so you can pay a little more to go to the back end tent. And actually, he's a super good guy. He's just he just happens to be deranged, being a Longhorn fan that runs the whole thing. But so I've got 2 of my daughters. The one who was not with me last weekend that lives in Oklahoma, she's coming down. One of her roommates that was at your tailgate, Nicole's coming down. My oldest daughter and her roommate and boyfriends of both daughters are coming, so I'm basically babysitting a group of snowflakes for the weekend, using Mike Gundy speak. And they think that they're babysitting me, but no, I'm sure I'm going to have to be pulling my wallet out for drinks and that kind of stuff. But so that's this weekend, and I'm actually going to fly into Houston tomorrow. and meet one of Amy's cousins that was at the tailgate, Matt, who lives in Houston. We're going to go to that University of Houston game tomorrow night.
Oh,
but not tailgating tomorroor, really just getting in, probably have a beer and a burger and
liar.
Huh?
Liar. You're going to get off the plane, you're going to go to the stadium, and you're going to find somebody who's got beer and hamburgers, and you're going to stand there and talk.
That is the plan. I'm just trying to sound a little more grown up than I actually am, but I got to pace myself. It's going to be a long weekend.
Yeah. I'm actually, this weekend, I'm kind of halfway dreading it because it's a night game, and it's supposed to be nice.
Is it 6 o'clock Central?
Yes, 6 o'clock. It is 6
Central.
6:30.
6:30 Central. Okay.
And Rob, they have the lead meteorologist at the university at all their planning meetings.
Yeah.
Give us the weather forecast.
Yeah, so
Rob.
the game ops meeting, they always get the lowdown from him. And he said when you go out, at noon or whatever to start your tailgate's going to be great. It's going to be possibly low 60s, light wind. But by kickoff, the temperature is going to drop drastically. It's going to be a wet, kind of a windy coldness.
Misty.
Somewhere in the mid to lower 30s.
No.
So it's going to be horrible at game time.
Yeah, and then
I hate that.
Going to sit through the Kansas game and then come out. We'll have a little bit and then have to break down in all the cold and yeah. So I may end up doing kind of like what the Roughnecks do sometimes, just lower their tents down on everything, their canopies down, and go home. Just come back and get it the next, because they allow you to leave them up until noon. On Sunday,
and no one's gonna mess with stuff there.
So I might.
I do that.
I forgot to tell you, Rob. We got a guy. He comes into one game every year from Missouri. He went to high school with me. Neil's coming in this weekend.
Oh, cool.
So got a buddy coming in. He's going to stay here at the house and going to go tailgate with us. But yeah, I think that's what I may do is leave that puppy up. If anybody steals it, hey, you know what? It's the end of the year.
It's the end of the season. It's a tax write-off.
I may put stuff out and say, free, take it.
See, I want Dan's job. He just goes to the tailgates. He doesn't have to put it up or take it down. He just flies around the country going to tailgates. I love that.
It's a much easier way to do it.
Yeah, give him an application.
Now we're expecting, next week will be our last tailgate podcast, but we're expecting something epic next year in California. You know that, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I got it. I already have Mrs. Tailgate all dialed in that she's going to have to really come through, because me, I'm actually pretty useless. After once I set up, I just become kind of a social chairman, and she does all the work, and she's cooking away on my barbecue grill, making Bloody Marys and cocktails for everybody. I'm just more the master of ceremonies. So.
Yeah. Well, I figured out one thing. Me and Teresa are kind of the same way. I get everything kind of set up, and I don't touch unless I'm grilling, okay? But she likes to grill at the tailgate. But unless I'm grilling, she's doing everything. She's putting, don't touch that, don't do this, don't do that. And then I'm like you. I kind of just become the host. Everybody wants to talk to me, or I bounce around and talk to everybody. But I did figure out something this weekend, that my youngest son is obviously not a bartender, because that boy he just throws drinks at everybody.
That's my kind of bartender.
Yeah, he's like, let's do shots. Come on, Dad, let's do a shot. Let's do a shot. And he's just walking around with bottles of liquor.
Hey, you raised him well.
Yeah, and then still my favorite thing of this weekend was we went in the stadium, and Lori's granddaughter, we were walking with them, and Lori's granddaughter grabbed me by the arm and looked at me, and her husband was standing there, or her husband and son, I think, went to the bathroom, and we were standing there, and she grabbed me by the arm, and she goes, "Your son got me drunk." And I went, well, he has that effect on women. I mean,
drives them to drinking. Poor Caleb.
But she came out of the game fine, and but she, that game was 5.5 hours long, so everybody in town sobered up before the end of it. So,
I think so. That first quarter alone seemed like it took a whole game's worth. That was a long first quarter.
It was a long game period.
I hope this one don't take that long.
Yeah, it was.
I think with Kansas, they just ought to run the clock. Just.
I think so. I hope we have an effort like we did. What was it 4 years ago when P. Ryan broke the single game rushing record against them? Just
I was there.
Run all over them, smear them.
Yeah, get it done and get out and get ready to go to Morgantown. So do you have a game prediction, a score prediction?
Well, my offense has been pretty damn close to Rob's score every week, so I'll throw out the traditional 52, but I'm not going to give that big of a separation. I'm going to go 52-42 this week.
Oh boy,
prove me wrong, but I got us at a 10-point win, 52-42.
That's where I'm at now. I've taken the defensive Kool-Aid back to Walmart. And so I'm not drinking it this year. Yeah. So I think that's what I'm picking is, 55-54. So.
Wow. Wow, you're right up there. So
maybe
new All-American quarterback in Kansas playing this weekend.
Prove me wrong, defense, okay?
Yeah. That's where it's at. No disrespect to the kids or anything like that, but something's not working, and it is a betting sport. So
and that next week that West Virginia game may be 85-70.
Oh man, and that's a game you're going up against a legitimate quarterback. The best quarterback we've seen all season.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Anyway, well, enjoy your trip this weekend to hell.
Behind enemy lines.
At least it won't be 32 and raining.
We guarantee you'll be warmer than we will during the game. Is that a day game or night game? When is it?
No, it's 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Daytime. I know it's going to be nice. It's up to 70 during the day, but I think maybe 50 by game. Not game time, but probably 8 o'clock. I think it's 50.
Yeah.
So I'll layer up for that, and so. Appreciate it, and hopefully I make it out of there alive.
Yeah. Just we got to think of something special for you if you get a video of you standing in the middle of the tailgate yelling "Boomer Sooner," throw an OU hat on, and go, "Boomer Sooner."
I can do that. That won't be a problem. You saw the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde effect after I had the fireball on Saturday. So I'll do that again. So
yeah, but we want video.
All right,
okay.
We'll get proof. I'll do it, and I'll send it to you real time so you have it when you walk in the game and you can chuckle. Okay.
All right, Dan. Well, hey, be safe out there, all right, buddy.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Great meeting you in person last weekend.
Same here. Boomer.
Boomer.
All right. It's always good, Rob, talking to old Dan from...
Yeah, I like Dan. He's got the greatest job in the world, man. I'm not even kidding you.
We need to bring it up next week that not once did he invite us out of town.
Not yet. Well, we're pushing. We'll push. He's like, no, guys.
We'll push. Yeah. But up next on our Tailgate Like a Champion, we got the griller, the cook man. We got Tim Harless with us. Boomer, Tim.
Hey, Boomer, guys. How are y'all?
Fantastic, man. How's it going?
Good, man. It's going really well.
So if you want to try to talk about Kansas, you can. We have yet to be able to do it for more than a sentence or two. So
outside of, hey, you remember when Samaje put up 400
points, or do you remember when Kansas beat Texas 2 years ago?
Right.
Yeah, that's
never
always good.
forget when Kansas beat Texas.
But that's about all we can get out about Kansas.
Yeah, I think if we can run them off the 3-point line and really work on our rebounding, we'll be okay.
Stay out of foul trouble.
Run us out of the building.
Listen, if they come off the 3-point line, they're just going to dunk on us.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
oh man,
there we go. There's your Kansas game take, guys. That's we're just hoping that the football team is a little more serious about this game than we are.
I think I'm going to take the opposite approach I have all year and just say, I'm really worried about Kansas, and they got some skill guys that we may not know who their names are, but I'm worried about them, I think it's going to be a tight game, so we're going to have to play our best to see if maybe we'll do some reverse psychology.
Yeah.
Well, their back's name is Puka.
60.
Yeah, their back's name is Puka.
Yes.
Puka. Listen, can you keep a straight face when you call somebody Puka?
Where was that at? We were with JD last night at the coaches show. There's a guy that comes to the coaches show with us. He's actually, you hear the music, our bumper music before.
He's the coolest dude too, by the way.
That's his band. His name.
Oh, okay.
And they're called Iron Glide. But JD comes down. He's an ex. Is it Ranger? Isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, he's an ex-Ranger.
Army Ranger.
Good kid. And he comes down to the coaches show, and we're sitting there watching the coaches show, and we're at the table, and Lincoln says his name, and JD goes, "Did he just say Puka?"
Like interrupted the whole thing.
He goes, "What kind of parent names their kid Puka?"
I can tell you one thing: you don't want Puka running all over you, because that sounds like you've gotten into something bad. You don't want to eat that stuff.
Yeah, that's not something you want.
Sounds like something you get in Mexico,
right?
Yeah, if you drink too much of the water, you get the Puka.
You get the Pukas.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Which
either that or it's one of those hipster bars at the Puka bar over in the War Acres area.
Yeah,
it's a little smoky in there.
Yeah, a little smoky in there, but
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of that's about, again. I can't think of any. We tried to talk Sunday, for a Monday podcast about it, and it's just not. So, what was your take on the Oklahoma State game?
I guess it's just this week. Alabama scheduled Citadel, and Clemson scheduled whoever they scheduled, and we scheduled Kansas. So I guess it's just like Cupcake Week or something.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim, do you know who the Citadel's mascot is? Do you know what it is?
Oh my gosh, I did know this. It is.
Come on.
And it's gone.
What do you
CTE is kicking in?
What do you think it is? I mean,
it has nothing to do with their school, though. It's something incredibly random.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know how to Google?
I do know how to Google.
Okay.
The problem is, I'm afraid if I Google, I'll hang up on you guys. So I don't want to do that.
See, the reason why we say that is that Rob tried to Google it on his phone, and we had to sit here and fill dead air with Rob.
It took a minute
trying to Google it.
Not gonna lie.
So I turn around to the laptop and Google it and have it in 2 seconds.
Well,
they're the Bulldogs, right?
Yep, that's the Bulldogs.
You got it.
Yeah, the Citadel
Did he spell
Bulldogs.
Google wrong? Because sometimes if you don't spell Google wrong, it'll pull.
Hey, I can spell.
Weird stuff.
Yeah, so he Googled for 5. He was sitting here reading the history of the school off to everybody, though. It started in 1829, and
he turned into that guy.
Yeah.
I was getting there. It just took a minute.
And I asked him, I said, "Did you Google what is the Citadel's mascot?" No. I Googled Citadel.
I just typed Citadel and it pulled up on his phone.
Right?
So.
See?
My Google's smarter than yours, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, Rob's not so good at the Googling.
That's all right. We all got our gifts.
Yeah. Now, do you know what jayhawking is?
Jayhawking. Is that like cow tipping or snipe hunting? It's one of those.
No, that's when you walk across the road in a non-crosswalk.
I think that's jaywalking.
Oh.
That's fine.
Yeah, Rob made that mistake Monday night, and he goes, I go, "What's a jayhawk?" He goes,
"Quit making fun of me, too."
He goes, "Isn't that what you do when you cross the street out of sauce?" That's jaywalking. Oh God.
Well,
I think Rob's had too much puka. You gotta lay off that stuff.
So, what is a jayhawk? It is an actual bird, isn't it? Up in Kansas.
It's like a magpie or something.
Magpie.
It is. Or crow. I don't know. I'll Google here.
I think it tastes like chicken, though. That's all that matters.
A little garlic, a little pepper.
Yeah. See if
right.
Rob's going to try to Google.
Oh, boy. Why did you tell people?
Google.
Googly.
What is
There's an app for it actually to help you.
Yeah. I wonder if it's really blue, red, and yellow.
Kansas Jayhawk tailgating.
No.
Let's see. Its origin, rooted in historic struggles of Kansas settlers. The term Jayhawk was probably coined about 1848.
So it's not a bird.
The name combines,
It combines two birds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue jay, a noisy,
Whatever that is.
a noisy, quarrelsome thing known to rob other nests, and the sparrowhawk.
Oh, so it's a blue jay and a sparrowhawk.
Okay.
It's not even real. I think that's what that means.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So it's kind of like
You can't
Sooner. They
make
call
this up.
people in Kansas Jayhawks. I guess kind of like Sooner.
So,
Yeah.
So are they calling them a thief or what? I don't.
know.
So I
A
don't
dirty bird.
Yeah.
You know.
Something like that.
Well, there's an Urban Dictionary version that we may not want to read, so
Oh.
we'll just leave it at that.
Okay. We'll just leave that right there.
Let's see with Sooners. The funniest thing, I was at OU Texas game, and we were at the fair after the game, and there was a guy in one of the whatever booths, game booths, rip off,
Right.
throw your money at them booths, and real thick British accent, and I can't talk in a British accent, but he goes, "Oh, there you are."
Hello, governor.
Yeah, hello. Hello. What the hell is a Sooner? I've seen all these shirts. And he was just like, what is a Sooner? He goes, I know it's a Longhorn. He goes, what? And he was like, what is a Sooner? I really want to know. And I said, well, it's basically a thief.
Oh,
Man.
Terry. How
And
can
I'm
you be
proud of
so
that.
wrong? How can you be so wrong?
They are people that came in early before they shot the gun off and staked their claims.
Terry.
They hid
Terry,
on the other side of the line.
Terry. A Sooner was a either a high-ranking politician, lawman, or someone of affluence that were allowed to go out
They didn't break
early
the law.
and pick prime spots.
Who's
they
right?
were allowed.
Who's right? I think it was both.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of the two.
Yeah.
They left early, but I think that it was allowed that they did leave early.
Thank you.
But
Thank
there were
you.
some that hey, I watched the movie with Tom Cruise and his ex-wife.
The redheaded chick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah,
That's the
Nicole Kidman, where they were Sooners. They snuck in
yeah.
early, and he hid in a ditch. And when they sounded the gun off and people started running, he ran out and stuck his claim out.
Yeah. Didn't he fight? He fought some dude. So
Yeah,
yeah.
So,
He's like, oh, we got some prime riverfront right here, baby. There's a tree.
but I think it's a little bit of both. You're right, Robin. I forgot about that, but it's also a turn. Because people agree with me too, because there's the dirt burglars out there.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit of both. People were allowed to go in sooner, and then there were people that snuck in. But we're basically
I think honestly a Jayhawk is it's a mass. Are you there? Hang
Yeah.
on real quick.
Drop your phone.
Malfunction.
But Phil and Eric.
Are y'all there?
Yeah, we are.
All right, sorry about that. Dropped my phone, which is incredibly professional. So I'll stake that claim. I think a Jayhawk is actually a term for somebody who pays Adidas to cheat at basketball. I think that's the.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I didn't see that on the Google, but I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. So, well, hey, it's supposed to be nice this Saturday, but yet it's supposed to get really cold before game. So,
Right.
So what's on the grill for a day that's warm and then below freezing an hour later?
So basically, anything in Oklahoma at any time of the day. So
Exactly.
I made we had a little deal at work this week, so I made some jalapeno poppers, and so I kind of I spruced them up, and I made candied bacon jalapeno poppers, and so I had this idea this morning to have a candied bacon jalapeno popper burger.
Wow.
It's a mouthful, literally. Yeah. And so the way I candied my bacon, I used maple syrup and brown sugar and then cayenne pepper. And I coat the bacon before I cook it so that it cooks on it and in it. And so you cook that up. So whatever crispy, I like my bacon pretty crispy. And so I cook that up, let it cool off, and then chop it up. And then you want to cook your jalapenos, slice them up pretty small, take the seeds out or leave them in, depending on how Baker may feel dangerous you want to live. And I fry those things up in a pan, saute them up. And then I add cream cheese and then a sharp cheddar. and mix that in. And what you want to do is, so if you're going to make one burger, you're going to double your recipe as far as hamburger meat. You're going to basically use 2 patties for a burger.
Okay.
And you'll put, basically making a hamburger out of the meat. You put a patty down, you put the bacon and the jalapenos and the cheese down, and you put another patty on top and press that in and seal it. And then just cook those up to however you like it. For me, it's kind of a medium well burger. And you basically got a jalapeno popper inside of your burger. And, man, it's the jalapeno poppers are good. The burger is good. So combining them, maybe that'll keep you warm on the inside. It'll be a good burger. So that's good to cook in any weather. But with it turning cooler, you want to have some heat. So that'll do it up for you.
See, the only problem with eating something hot with me, I'm one of those people that sweat. I love hot stuff. Okay. But my head it's just the top of my head. Right, Rob? I mean, we'll be at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Just got to bring a towel.
Yeah. I will eat the hottest stuff they have, but the top of my head and my forehead sweat. So
yeah, I got you. Well, this will be good, though. It'll heat you up and cool you down.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be sitting out there. I'll catch pneumonia stadium. But
totally worth it if we score 80 points this week.
Yeah, and Kansas doesn't. Yes,
absolutely. 81-80 is not going to look good for a football score against Kansas.
It's not. But so what is your official pick? Your official score?
My gosh, I almost am just tired of picking because I haven't been even close. I don't think anybody's been close to
Rob was right on it last week.
Was he?
He picked 48-47.
I sure did.
So it's his fault. We can blame him for that. Then.
Hey, and the week before, I missed it by 2. I missed it by that extra point return for the.
Yeah, he missed it by that. So.
All right, so you need to change your scores because we've been blaming the defense, but I think we need to blame you.
56-17 this week. 56-17.
Okay. Yeah, they're going to cover. It's just a matter of I think how big the number is that OU wants to score. Honestly, for me, score because that's the only thing they're giving OU credit for is how good their offense is. So
right.
I say you just keep scoring until the final horn blows. To be honest, I don't know what Kansas has. I didn't know their running back's name was Puka, so that's something I've learned. So
that's all you need to know, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good week to play Kansas. I think we see a lot of young guys, probably some freshmen, redshirt freshmen who may not played yet, just because they've got that whole 4-game deal. So I think we see probably some youth, and I think that may work well. And if you're going to put them in, Kansas is probably the perfect team to put them in against. So
well, they can't do any worse.
Yeah, right. It's not like we can go down, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that we keep them under 21.
You sure about that?
So let me go.
How confident?
What did Rob say? He said what? 56.
Yeah, 56-17, and I only said 56. I think we probably could have named our score, but I think we get the starters out early, third quarter, and
give me. I'll take like 62-14.
Nice.
I'd love to see an old Texas A&M 77-0 score. That would make me feel real good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's back when we had defense.
Right.
That's a good point. That's also when they didn't run any offense too.
Yeah, that's true too. So, but or you got baseball games again this weekend, or what do you got going on? Are you going to make it to the game, or are you going to be?
We're going to be. My daughter's got a cheer competition this weekend, so.
And how old are your kids again?
My son is turning 13 on Saturday, and then my daughter is 9. She'll be 10 on Valentine's Day.
You still got a long ways to go.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Rob's my youngest just turned 26. Rob's youngest is fixing to turn 21.
21.
Okay. See, y'all got different things to worry about than I do.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't worry about anything.
They're all on their own at this point for you, huh?
Yeah. Well, one still lives here. The young one still lives here, but he does his own thing. But it's weird when they get older and you start thinking about it, and then you think back to all the stuff you did with them, for them, or however you want to put it, the baseball games, the cheer camps, gymnastics,
Right.
church camps, summer camps, sleepovers. And you just, and it goes all the way until they graduate high school.
Wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wouldn't change a thing. Do it all.
But I look back on it and
all.
go, when I hear folks like you going, no, I got a cheer camp, and I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm done with that stuff.
Part of me is trying to enjoy it, and then there's a part of me that's talking myself into enjoying it at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, and I may have told you that Caleb, my youngest one, his birthday is October 11th. Okay.
Yeah, you texted.
Yeah. So for 16 years, we were doing a birthday party that weekend.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Every year, you're like, you want to do an OU team football party? Because then we can watch the game.
No, I mean, at some point I would have, normally Teresa would go watch the game, but I never could go to the game because we were doing it. But she would go, I'd go in the bedroom and turn on the TV and watch the game. But
yeah,
I hated him for a long time as a child.
Pretty sure that was your fault.
Happy birthday! You're my biggest regret.
He knows that. It was like, I mean, why couldn't you waited another week to come out? You little jerk. But
selfish.
Yeah. But anyway, we need to get to the other folks. Hey, enjoy the. Do you get to listen to T-Row or do you?
Yeah, we'll probably have it on at some point, but I'll either be listening, watching, and listening. Combination too. So it'll be on. I may get in trouble for it, but it will be on.
You're going to be like Homer at church, Homer Simpson at church.
Right. It's better to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. Sorry, dear.
Hopefully I don't have to, use any foul language. Hopefully the game's, going really well in our favor. So.
Yeah. Well, anyway, hey, Tim, enjoyed it again. We will talk to you next week, buddy.
All right.
Boomer. And, that was our good buddy Tim Harless. That was that burger.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I never thought about that, mixing up basically just like a paste and putting it between two patties.
Hey, did you tell him that he's got to cook all that stuff for us?
No, that's a good idea. We need to have a gathering at the house here and let him go back there. That's a good point. But now it's time for our good buddy, hype man Harry. Boomer Harry.
Boomer, guys.
How's it going?
Great. How are y'all doing tonight?
Pretty good. We're having difficulty talking about Kansas because, quite honestly, Rob and I are overlooking Kansas.
What are you talking about? We're getting all excited for Kansas to come to town.
Well,
I mean, we can talk Kansas basketball, I think, but I know less about basketball than I do about.
Hey, Harry is up on some basketball now. Am I right, Harry?
About what now?
Basketball.
Oh man, I love me some Sooner Hoops too, man.
I know you do.
It's nuts. I mean, I know that y'all really don't want to look forward or look back, but let's look back since y'all brought it up, man. That's got to be last time when we played Kansas last year. Trae Young and those guys, man, that was probably the loudest I've ever seen that crowd. It was awesome. I loved it.
That was a great game too. I mean, we come out on the losing end of it. But man, that's the best we've ever played.
No. They beat Kansas. They beat them here in Norman.
Oh, that's right. We did.
We beat them here in Norman. That was the Trae Young game, man.
Yes. Now I remember.
And he found Manic, and the big power forward center. I think he was a power forward more than the center, but he couldn't hit his free throws in the last about under 2 minutes. And Kruger kept fouling him, and he kept on missing the free throw.
Yep. See, he's got a better memory on it than I do. I was at the game. I promise you. I was there.
You hit one free throw. You're better than that than what he hit in the last 5 minutes of the one in Norman. You hit just one free throw. You're better than that. So
when was the last time Oklahoma beat them in Lawrence? It's been forever. And it was
in basketball. It was 80. No, it was 90 something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
was it 90 or 91?
Samson did it once, I think. And I can't
really.
I
thought it was before that.
Billy Tubbs.
Yeah. Okay. You're right.
Billy Tubbs was there, and yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, dude, they're phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
They're like us for football. Nobody comes Nobody comes into our house and beats us.
Yeah, they're not like
and if
us.
it does,
They're
it's
not.
a rarity. And if it happens, it's a rarity.
No. Harry, I have to disagree with you. They're not like us with their basketball to football because they get Adidas to pay their people. So we don't do that here at Oklahoma.
It is hard to win at the Fog, though.
Yeah, it is.
It is hard to win up there.
Yeah.
So
we have Jordan Brand now. You're right. We wouldn't have to be Adidas. We have Jordan Brand.
Yeah.
Which is better than Adidas.
So what did you think about Bedlam last week?
You know what? I hope that the committee, the committee, and the old grumpy people in the committee think the same way I do. I'm not sure they're going to, but think of it this way. Here's how they think of it for the grumpy old men. Here's how they think of it, in my opinion. They think of it as far as levels are concerned. Levels are concerned, meaning that where is the game played? It's either played at home, a neutral site, or on the road. Home game, that helps. What also helps, and people think it doesn't matter or whatever, but the big R word, rivalries, do matter.
Yeah.
I think that rivalry points add more or less, and I really honestly think that that's what really adds. That's what's going to help Oklahoma is that it was a rivalry, and then it wasn't just another game. Like if we would have played Baylor like that, I don't think that we would have gotten as many brownie points. I'm going to give us a couple more brownie points because that's a rivalry game. And, I don't agree with those grumpy old men a lot. I know that you guys don't either. But here's what it comes down to, particularly in my case, and what I'm thinking as far as rivalry games are concerned. And it's an old saying, but it's so true, guys. When it's rivalry games, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games, and anything can happen.
Right.
And to be honest, that's what you saw happen. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. I've really not been that impressed with Derek Taylor. I really haven't been that impressed with him. He's the number 2 leading passer in the Big 12, but I really just haven't seen him. We haven't seen him do anything that's really remarkable until what you saw on Saturday. Now, given that it was against our defense, so you can take those points and take it. But still, he threw for 501 yards. You throw for 501 yards, you're saying something. And all he needed to do was throw for 501 and a 2-point conversion. And let me tell you, if he get a little more arch under that pass, he gets that thing past Norwood, and then we have to go. But in that case, I don't really think that it really would have mattered, guys, because if you remember our other rivalry game, there was only like 10 seconds left, I think, if even that. This time around, there was like a minute left, and we had 2 timeouts. I guarantee we could have done something with a minute and 2 timeouts.
Oh yeah, that's a forever in Lincoln's offense.
Oh yeah.
But
so that's my take from Bedlam. It's a rivalry game, so just get out with a win. I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, what about Kansas? Are you going to be able to talk about Kansas? Because me and Rob can't. We can't think of one single thing other than their running back's name is, what's his name, Rob?
Puka.
And we didn't know that until last night. So.
Well, I know that they're going to. Well, I know that they're going to be looking for a new head coach. Does that count?
Well, yeah, that's got to be odd, doesn't it?
They're currently looking. Somebody said some planes went out of Kansas today and landed in somewhere down in Louisiana.
Louisiana, where?
Yeah, Ed Orgeron's leaving LSU to go to Kansas.
Well, it's not even that, man. It's the other former LSU coaches they want.
Yeah.
But you know what? Here's the thing, though. And here's the thing, and they've said this on the radio before, and I think it's funny as heck. You ready for this?
What's that?
The University of Kansas is a artificial turf. It's
Right.
not grass.
Right.
So he can't eat it.
Yeah.
I know that y'all know who I'm talking about this point now. I know y'all do.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
But, I mean,
yeah, like Rob said, you can't eat it.
Either that, or they tell Bill himself, you know what? You've done such a great job with the basketball club. Let's see what you can do with both of them.
Yeah, coach both teams.
Let's let you coach the football and the basketball.
Well,
We're paying you enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know. Again, it's you shouldn't overlook anybody. And I know that the coaching staff isn't. Hopefully, the players aren't. But there's just no. I know that tickets right now online, the tickets that Kansas sent back are going for like $30, and probably by game day they'll be standing out on the corner handing them out.
Oh, yeah. Guys, it's going to be awful. I mean, I'm telling you this right now. My mom makes a bomb brisket.
Yeah.
All right? She's going to make some bomb brisket. So what we're going to do is we're going to do brisket, and we're going to do the, the Arby's French fries that are like crack fries.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The curly fries.
You can get them at the freezer. You can get them in the freezer section of Walmart now.
Yeah.
So we're going to get 2 or 3 bags of those, and we're going to get a brisket, and we're just going to do it right here from Casa de Taylor. It's going to be cold,
Yeah.
and we're just not even. I don't even want to mess with it. I don't even want to mess with it.
Yeah, I'm very seriously thinking about. We're going to do the tailgate, but I'm very seriously thinking about just sitting out there at the tailgate and watching it, and because I got a heater out there, and because like you said, it's
not even going to the game. Yeah.
Yeah, and,
I mean that's.
You may get it all broke down, and
yeah, and I mean, yeah, I mean that's just that's just me, and I really wish that wasn't the issue. I've got a couple of good friends of mine that are coming in, but you know what? I'll see them at the basketball game, or I'll see them.
Yeah.
I'll see them at the Thunder game or somewhere else, man. But it's going to be it's just going to be too cold on.
Well, and Rob said that
for a 6:30.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. I mean, they don't. I mean, we deserve it because we're Oklahoma, and I think Kyler deserves it for being a Heisman Trophy candidate. But they don't deserve a 6:30 primetime kick.
Yeah, well, and I just knew this game was going to be at 11 o'clock today. This weekend. I was
yeah, I mean they're terrible.
Yeah, and to put it at night, it's not. And like you said, it's going to be cold. Rob said, the weather guy up at the university said it's going to be spitting rain, misting off and on. And yeah, I'm not for that. If it was Oklahoma State or if it was Nebraska, West Virginia,
or even a 10 that mattered.
Yeah, it's just like, and if they jump on them and are up, 40-10, that stadium will be empty at halftime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
People are going to go. Okay, it's too cold.
So with that being said, I would like to thank Kyler and Hot Rod and all the seniors for everything that they've done. And fingers crossed. Hopefully, guys, fingers crossed. I will be there for when they try to get 4 straight.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get me the tickets down there now. There's actually a pretty nice hotel. It's right across the street from the stadium that I really want to stay at. It's probably the prices have probably gone up since then.
Oh yeah.
My dad and I actually went to see the Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
This past summer, and what do you call the people at the front desk? The receptionist there, and we tried to, we're trying to get her all our information that we've already gone through, and we've got the military discount thing going on. And she even said, we're sorry about this, but we only had the first 2 floor rows open because the next flights, like 3 through however tall that hotel is, I forget how high it is, but she says we're renovating the rest of it because hopefully by football season it'll be ready to go. It'll be ready to be on board, and that's going to be if it's because I don't know if you guys saw the picture that I had with it, but it is literally right across the street from where our boy Dak Prescott is in Gate A. It's just right there. I mean, it's literally right across the street. You could just walk, and that's how close it is.
Yeah.
So they got that thing, they got that thing fixed up. It's right there.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about. I can't think of the name of it, but yeah, everything.
What's the Sheridan?
Yeah, everything down. Every hotel within 5 miles of that place have like tripled their rates for that weekend.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
No, it's not even. Here's the thing, and that's true. Here's the thing. When me and my dad went, and I'm not even kidding. My dad and I went last year when we played TCU, and I think that it helps that we played TCU last year. By the way, there's a Motel 6 that is right there across the street from Six Flags, literally.
No, we're
and
talking
we
about.
stayed there.
Yeah.
It's a Motel 6. I think it was a Motel 6. And it's a Motel 6. And so, I mean, it's a little, it's a smaller one. It's nothing big. Nothing like the Sheridan or anything. But, it was enough for what was it, Friday night, because the game was at 11 a.m. last year. It was good enough for Friday night. We got up in the morning, Ubered over there to the stadium, and we got home.
Yeah.
But for one night, it was okay for a Motel 6.
Yeah. Yeah. When we went down
now, normally I don't like staying at Motel 6s.
Yeah.
Because they're shady places.
When we,
for one day, I could do it for one day.
We've gone down there the same thing and stayed cheap for, baseball game weekend. But like when me and my wife went to the NFL draft, we're looking at the same hotel we stayed in there, and it's like $175 a night. But it's close to everything, and they have a tram that takes you to the game and all that.
Well, then Big Rob, you know exactly what hotel I'm talking about. Then, me and my dad stayed at when we went to the Rangers and White Sox, I do believe, this past summer, because you drove right by it.
Actually, I think Terry and I stayed there last year when we went to the Rangers.
I think you're right. Or
Cardinals.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Not Cardinals.
Rangers,
and it was kind of
Angels. Rangers, Angels. Yep. Yeah, it's right across the street. I know where you're talking. We stayed up
and
the road.
And it was kind of it was like a Sheridan or kind of a dumpy looking thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like inside there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be.
But it's like I said, we went down. We went to did a weekend down there, and you're right. It was just perfect because all we did, me, Caleb, and Rob went down there, and we got up in the morning and went and ate breakfast and went running around all day, watched a baseball game, went and had dinner, and came back and slept. All we used it for was sleeping, so it's good enough for that.
I mean, it's well, I'm hoping that, fingers crossed, that if that's where if that is what it is now, and we're there and we get to where we want to be and our goals are. Hopefully, the breakfast will be a little bit more of a permanent option.
Yeah,
because it was just like we talked about, like a little Sheridan or a motel, like a little Sheridan or whatever, and just it was a with a little waffle or the little homemade omelet.
Yeah.
But right there where you want it to be. If it was me, I'd update it a little bit, and get kind of get the chef going and get everything rocking and rolling, get you a couple more rooms ready. But that's that's just me.
Yeah. So what's your pick for this weekend? What's the spread? What's the score?
We're still going to score 50. I think that we can even score 70 on these guys. But you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to say we're going to score 70 on these guys. I'm going to do it. We scored 50 on everybody else. So why can't we just score 20 more points on one of if not the worst teams in this league? Yeah. Offensively, again, and this is going to be really bad for me to say, but I would be completely happy just doing what I've said the last couple, 2, 3, 4 weeks now. Giving up 20 to 21 points, 28 points, that means a touchdown a quarter. If we do that against these guys, I'm happy. I would be really happy if we were to hold them to absolutely nothing or 14 or 0. But with this defense, I think even Kansas might even be able to have a little bit of fun against our defense.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jinx or Union could probably score on this defense. So at least a point.
Speaking of which, guys, I have one solution for this, and y'all are gonna laugh. All right, I have a solution. Now, given it's going to take a year or two to get this thing set. All right, but as far as the personnel is concerned, the dude from Alabama, the defensive backs coach. Now, he's not the defensive coordinator. He's the defensive backs coach. Do you know where he was a year ago right now?
It was San Antonio, wasn't it?
UTSA. No, it was Washington State.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're
with
right.
Mike Leach and the defensive coordinator. He was running that defense. And if you can – and, last year, they weren't doing what they're doing this year. but they weren't terrible last year. I think they went to a pretty good bowl game. They won 8 or 9 games. If you give him an option, if you give him an opportunity to do what he does and to teach his defense to players at Oklahoma, just the name, Oklahoma, just think how good that defense could be in 2 or 3 years. Now, again, it's not going to be a one-year fix. That's what people have got to understand. It is not going to be a one-year fix. I would love for it to be a one-year fix. It's not going to be. A lot of people thought that this thing was a 2-3 week fix. But the thing is, guys, TCU, Kansas State, those teams are 2 of the worst teams in the league. You realize if we would have done it this way, right?
Yeah.
We would have played TCU, Kansas State, and Kansas in back-to-back weeks, and then play Tech in Norman against Oklahoma State. I think that we didn't even have a bigger head than now.
Yeah.
Our defense has not improved since Stoops left. It hasn't. In fact, technically, it's gotten a little worse.
Right. Statistically, it is. Well, hey, Harry, we've got to get to Adrian now. She wanted to be last, and she's got a kid, all the mothering stuff
right.
that she has to do, buddy.
Yeah.
But
it's up to you guys. If y'all want to do a West Virginia one next week, give me a call. If not, we can wait till the Big 12 championship. Till then, guys, as always, I love you guys. And Boomer.
All right. Boomer, Harry. All right. Well, Rob, Hype Man Harry always has his wonderful take and
a unique perspective,
and we love it. We appreciate him coming on with us. But I'm not going to say we saved the best for last because that would be rude to everybody. But we are going to say that we saved the witch for last. The witch. Right, Rob? Rob's not even paying attention
I'm sorry. I'm sending out a text. I got my finger up, though, like the kids do. I'm like texting with one hand, and I got the finger up with the other hand. Sorry about that, Adrian.
So, Boomer Adrian.
Boomer.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys tonight?
Good. Are you coming to the Kansas game?
It's an evening game now, so it's looking more like it could happen.
Oh,
but if the temperature doesn't change, that's a big no.
Because you know what we're having?
What?
Did you see the post today?
Oh, I did. I saw the tacos, and I was really enticed. But do you know the last time that I went outside for tacos, it was not 19 degrees.
Well, it's supposed to be nice during the day.
Yeah, y'all going to need some better weather.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, I think Rob said the 60s, but as soon as the sun goes down, it's supposed to get cold.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about all that. I've been real pissy this week. I don't know if y'all follow my Twitter.
Yeah, oh no, you've been whining and moaning and complaining for like 2 weeks now.
I warned everyone that I'm going to whine about it.
So, what kind of steak sauce do you use?
I don't use steak sauce because that's an abomination.
She doesn't use condiments.
Yeah,
no condiments. Now, I use salsa, but not on steak, and I don't know who even said that, but they deserve to be smacked too.
Yeah, no, you're right. If you have to put steak sauce on a steak, the steak isn't any good.
That's right. Somebody didn't cook your steak right.
What if I like the taste of steak sauce, though? I'm kind of torn here.
Put it on your baked potato.
Okay.
Save your steak sauce for your hamburger or something.
Yeah.
Okay. If it was, it would be called hamburger sauce, wouldn't it?
No. What is ham? What is hamburger? Ground
I don't
ham?
even know, but your steak
it's not ground
should be
ham.
Fine without any of that stuff on it.
There
are some people on there who have really bad food takes, and ketchup on steak is absolutely the worst.
Well, it was Mahone's.
You might as well eat ketchup on
ice.
Mahone's.
But I meant what I said. If I just made a steak for a gentleman and we were on a date, that date would be over. I'd be having 2 steaks. I meant every bit of that. Bye, buddy. Don't come back either.
Yeah.
And leave that steak right where it is.
But Patrick Mahomes puts ketchup on his steak.
Well.
He'll
probably never win a Super Bowl now.
No, I will tell you that when I was a kid, and I still do it now, and it's just a weird little habit. I don't do it, but I do eat roast with ketchup. Okay.
I know a a lot of people who do that, and that's weird too.
But when I was a kid,
that's not something like German people do. We don't do that.
But when I was a kid, I did it all the time. But then now as an adult, what I do is I eat it with, like for Christmas, for instance, Teresa makes a roast for Christmas.
Okay.
And I'll eat the roast and potatoes and gravy and everything else that we have with it. And then I will get me a piece, because this is what I used to do as a kid. I'd get me a piece of bread and I put gravy on the piece of bread and I eat that. And
okay.
Then I clean my plate with another piece of bread and I get me a piece of roast and ketchup, just to relive my childhood, I guess.
Listen,
okay.
You're going to need to settle there because
I don't do condiments, so it's not my thing. And bless everybody who wants to use condiments, but I will not sit and let somebody put some ketchup on a steak.
What do you put on hot dogs?
I don't actually put anything on a hot dog.
No condiments.
I rarely eat hot dogs, okay?
So
I can tell you the last time I had a hot dog was probably last summer. Not this summer of 2018, but 2017.
What if I made you a hot dog? What would you put on it?
Oh, nothing. I would just eat it plain.
Yeah, you're not relish?
With nothing on it.
No onions?
No condiments?
No, I'm not putting, no. I just would eat it, and I would begrudgingly eat it and be polite about it.
Okay, is relish a condiment? Because it is...
It is disgusting, and I would not eat that either.
What about...
I don't even know what it is. I don't know how you describe it, because I don't even know what's in it or how you make it, but it looks like slime gel with pickles cut up in it. I am not eating that. I am not putting that in my mouth.
All it is basically pureed pickles.
Well, why does it look like slime gel?
I don't know.
Because I'm not putting that in my mouth, and that's just not. Yeah, no.
See,
I was going to say something else, but I stopped.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, and so is everybody else, including my Twitter mentions.
But I think people who put ketchup on hot dogs are just freaks. That's disgusting.
Well, the dictator does that. But he also puts ketchup on everything, but he doesn't put it on steak because A, he doesn't really eat a lot of steak, but B, he also knows he'll be homeless. But he has a shirt that says, I put ketchup on my ketchup.
So what about chicken McNuggets? Do you have a sauce or you do ketchup with chicken McNuggets?
No, if I'm just going to eat those, which I don't do very often, I just eat them plain. Now, I do like buffalo wing sauce, but I like buffalo wing, like actual wings with bones in them.
Yeah.
So.
Hot sauce or?
Just kind of go with the medium hot.
Yeah.
Occasionally I do the hot, and occasionally, now I like mango habanero wing sauce. Yeah. It's usually pretty hot.
Have you ever?
The spicy stuff doesn't usually get to me too much.
Have you ever?
I eat jalapenos with everything.
Have you ever watched Hot Takes?
No.
Okay, it's on YouTube. So when we're done, go to YouTube and find it. It's an It's an interview show. Okay, just like Jimmy Fallon and everything else.
Oh, okay.
And it has big stars on it, but they eat 10 wings from cool to hot.
Okay.
During the interview. And
interesting.
It's one of the funniest things you'll ever watch. Because
that's pretty funny.
Because I mean, they get to like the fire hot.
Oh yeah, like the crazy hot ones that people are always like doing challenges to see if they can make it on the wall.
These stars, they're trying to talk about their TV show or movie or music, and they got snot coming out of their nose and crying and screaming and cussing.
Yeah, see, I don't want to eat anything that makes me do that, but I don't mind like the hot.
Yeah.
So
see what's funny here.
And I like the mango habanero, and so that's kind of it. And as far as the relish, no, I'm not eating that.
Go ahead, Rob.
I was just going to say, what's funny here is you said fire like 5 times.
Yeah.
So that we would understand that it's hotter than fire, I think. I'm not sure you can get hotter than that, but
I don't know, man. Anything, I've heard of people, eating a whole ghost pepper and putting them in the hospital. Okay.
Yeah, it would kill me.
Yeah, see, I don't know. Sometimes you just don't need to do things like that. Like I kind of have a philosophy too. Like if you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough. And that's the rule in this house. So if my son knows if he wants to act stupid, he better be tough because I don't want to hear it when he hurts himself.
Yeah. So
I'm not going to let him do anything that I think will kill him. But if I say, hey, you shouldn't do that, and then he continues to do it, then he was stupid. So
So Rob, tell her
Then
what happens to you when you eat hot stuff.
If I get anything hotter than a jalapeno, and I'm talking about a mild jalapeno here, I will start hiccuping.
Oh my goodness!
And
really?
I will violently hiccup
Some random
until
hiccups,
I
huh?
vomit.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
bad.
see, I eat like habanero tomatillo sauce on like my eggs every day.
Yeah, see, I have the habanero. I get the habanero hot sauce to put in my chili at home because Teresa doesn't make it. She makes really good chili, but I like mine with a little bit of fire in it. So, I'll drop that in there. But
yeah.
Well, and we'll just tell you the same thing we told everybody else and everybody who's been listening so far. You are last on the totem pole tonight, but
okay.
We have yet to really have a serious discussion about Kansas football. So. Because I really
wasn't planning on having a serious discussion, but I do have a couple of things to say about them.
Okay. Well, do you want to talk about your Kansas beer choice first?
Sure. I've got a great beer selection for you guys because this beer I picked out tonight is just a kind of a run-of-the-mill. You can get it on the shelf, and it wants to be really good, and it wants to be fancy, and it thinks it's something it's not. But it's just a Budweiser, but they aged it in like a Jim Beam barrel. So it's called Budweiser Copper Lager, and it's aged on real Jim Beam barrel staves. And so it wants to be a fancy craft beer, but it isn't. And it doesn't belong in that category, but it was listed as craft beer. Kind of like Kansas wants to be a football team, but they're not.
It's a
so it
basketball
really
school.
just spoke to me that was the theme. Like it wants to be something it's not.
So,
they can just go cheer on basketball.
So have you tasted it yet?
Nope, I'm about to do that right now. You guys get to live interview that.
Yeah,
so let's see if it's better than a Busch Light. We're about to find out.
Okay, go for it. Chug, 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 chug.
I'm afraid she's going to be pouring it out.
Okay. It's not the worst beer I've ever had. It is not the best beer I've ever had. It is better than a Busch Light.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Blinking.
Now, I have actually drank Budweiser before. Okay, so I knew what Budweiser tasted like.
Yeah. Which it tastes amazing.
If you put a Budweiser into an
tastes.
old glass that you had drank Jim Beam out of 3 days ago that still had residual Jim Beam in it, but like a film, it's probably about what this tastes like. Like, it's not amazing. It didn't really do much for the Budweiser, and I kind of got like this end finish of like maybe cough syrup.
Which is kind of what Jim Beam tastes like.
Bonus, right?
Yeah,
so
but it is better than the Busch Light, and I probably won't pour it out. But I don't know that I can drink the whole thing, but at least it's not a 16-ounce can that I took a walk of shame to get. So Now, this beer does have a little higher alcohol volume than a regular Budweiser. I think it's a little higher. This is like 6.2% alcohol by volume. The other one's like 4.8.
Okay.
So you get a little more alcohol volume because they aged it in the Jim Beam barrel. But I will tell you, I've had bourbon barrel aged actual craft beer that is delicious, and I buy them all the time. This isn't going to actually take the place of it. But it is not too bad. I can see this being a nice beer you could chill out with on the patio. If you like Budweiser, you're probably actually going to like it.
See, again, I doubt I will, because how do I like my beer?
You like your beer to taste like beer.
There you go.
This beer tastes like beer, but it finishes a little cough syrupy. Which is not really doing much for me.
Yeah.
So, now last week after I finished the Busch Light, I didn't really feel all that great, but I went in my refrigerator and noticed I had a bottle of wine, so I just cracked that open and just drank that all.
A whole bottle?
Yeah.
No big deal.
She said it like, what? Yes?
It's for somebody who saves part of it for the next day? Where are these people? Those are not the same people that I roll with.
Oh.
When my friends and I have a party and say we're going to bring wine, everybody brings their own bottle.
Yeah.
Because we're not sharing.
Well, see, right now in my beer fridge out in the garage, I have a collection of beer that I don't drink.
Oh.
Because when people come to the tailgate, they put their beer in the ice chest and they don't drink it all.
Oh, okay. So you've got a whole bunch of beer that.
Yeah, I have some. I think they're 16-ounce light beer from Miller. I have about 4 of those. I have about 4 Coors Lights, 3 Coronas. What else do I have? Yeah, and that was just from this weekend. I go, I'm like, holy, everybody.
Well, this is beer that you offer up to people who come over.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do when people come to visit and they leave beer that I don't drink. The next time somebody else comes over, I say, "Hey, you want a beer?" I go get them one of those.
Yeah, we'll see, and that's when we have this happen. What I do is I always put, like the Coors Light and the Coors and stuff on top at the tailgate on top.
Yeah, so it gets drank first.
Yeah, it's because if somebody doesn't care. Yeah, there's some beer in there. They can just grab them, a Coors Light.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Or
I just got another large drink of this Jim Beam Budweiser beer here, and I will definitely say it has a weird finish.
A weird finish.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just getting this hint rather than a bourbon, more like a cough syrup taste.
So it wouldn't go good with tacos.
I'm not going to have it with tacos. And tonight I went to a 17-year-old kid's birthday party, and he picked out hamburgers and French fries and cake.
Well,
so that's what we had for dinner. And, it might be that I'm overly full, so this beer's not doing much. I don't know.
So, which means you're going to go to the fridge when you're done with that and drink another bottle of wine.
There's a chance there is some Moscato out there. There is a bottle. I will tell you, if you're just looking to drink a whole bottle of wine, Aldi sells a really good Moscato for like $4 a bottle. And the thing about Moscato is it's nice and sweet and it goes down easy. You don't even notice you drink the whole bottle.
until you go to pour your glass and you're like, ah!
Oh, yeah, and then you're like, oh, it's already gone? Damn.
Oh. So do you want to attempt to talk about the Kansas game?
Unfortunately, I think that I really hope we don't go in there and sleep on Kansas and let them score a bunch of points, because that will piss me off so bad. Kansas is a terrible football program. They don't have a lot going for them. Their coach is just winding out his season. He already done got fired.
You know their defense is better than ours, don't you?
Yes, I know that, and that's also irritating because,
So is everybody else's in the country, so that really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't that hard. My defense is better than ours. So
I'm not sure. I don't even know how to respond to that.
That's fine. You don't have to. But yeah, as far as Kansas football, in the words of the great, wonderful Baker Mayfield, go cheer on basketball.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about them. It's how I feel about this Budweiser with the Jim Beam aged barrel. Go cheer on basketball with that.
Do you want to do you want to pick a score?
Sure. I think we're going to do I like Oklahoma at 62 and Kansas at 17.
Well, you and Rob got the Kansas score together. He didn't think Oklahoma can score as much as you do.
Well, I hope that they go out and have themselves a fun day and score a bunch of points.
I'm picking, my score is 58-57.
Oh, okay.
Because
that sounds reasonable.
I have zero faith in this defense. None whatsoever. Especially Rob, what are we going to do Saturday if they bring in a backup linebacker to play quarterback?
Well, I don't know.
It's just,
Oh boy.
I don't know what to do about this defense, but I'm gonna be on Lincoln's side with it. They are 9-1 with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the thing. You made the call that all the fans were asking for. You fired Mike Stoops.
Yeah.
Okay? You cannot have your cake and eat it too. The cake's got to bake.
Why
You
is
can't
it?
just dip your spoon in the batter. All
Wha-
right? You got to wait.
Why?
But
well,
you know what? I feel like we would be in a much better place had we did this after the Rose Bowl
yeah. But
started then.
here's my take on the fire Mike Stoops thing. All these people who were hooting and hollering saying it's, Mike Stoops, you're an idiot. Mike Stoops, it's your schemes. Da da da. We have all the athletes. We have the people to do it. You can't get it done with them. Da 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 da. Now all of a sudden, all those people are saying, well, obviously we don't have the athletes to play defense. You can't have both, guys. You can't sit there and want a coach fired because you got athletes, and then turn around 3 weeks later and go, look, guys, it's
These
not the
athletes are
defensive
terrible.
scheme. It's the talent. Bull crap. Half the people on that field in defense were recruited by Alabama, LSU, Florida, Georgia.
Exactly.
Half of
the
them
talent is not the problem. You have to let them mesh. You have to put everybody in the right positions, and you have to get the right guy in charge.
Right, and you got a development. That was the word I was looking for earlier.
Yeah, I mean, so you're already halfway through the season in the development. So you're making this. It's not a huge switch, but it's a pretty big switch. Yeah. And now you've got to start over with some basic principles for some things that you didn't like. Yeah, there's going to be some, like I said, the cake's got to bake, man. You can't have the cake and eat it too. You got to let it cook.
Yeah.
And then you eat the cake.
Yeah, and you can't sit there and scream and holler at a coach and say it's your fault. You have the talent, and then when your defense is statistically worse than it was when that coach left, go, the coaching is fine now. It's the talent. You can't do that.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what else would be super fun?
Season.
Is if assholes on the internet would not go into a bunch of college kids' Twitter mentions and be dicks.
Yeah.
That is an unnecessary thing.
Yeah.
That is just absolutely the worst thing. It just makes you look like a terrible person.
Yeah. Well, you are a terrible person if you do
are
that.
a terrible person. You're probably the kind of person who kicks puppies.
I'm glad you didn't say cats because I kick cats. So
don't be doing that either. But also, cats are not nice.
But yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. If you're, and Rob and I the other night after we did our podcast, we were sitting here and Curtis Bolton had put something out, and we were just reading it, not on the podcast. Yeah. And these guys were. Not only were they ripping him, then there was people arguing on his feed,
with each other. Yes.
With each other,
I saw. And
you're like, what is wrong with you guys? Why do you think that's okay? I mean, the only thing that you should ever put on a recruit or a person's Twitter is positive things.
Yeah, I mean, the little like it thing is fine too. Just like it.
Yeah.
Let them know that you're there. You're happy that they're there. That's plenty.
Yeah. You don't.
But,
you don't have to.
My mom
you don't have
instinct
to
goes really hard when people start jacking around with high school kids.
Yeah.
Like if that were my kid, I would be on the internet destroying you people. Like I would be making dudes cry.
Yeah.
So,
but you just don't. That's just ridiculous. You say you don't go, well, if you would play your position the way you're supposed to and do your reads right, you wouldn't be having this problem. Really, what's the highest level of football you played, Nimrod?
Yeah, that. When was the last time you ran around the block?
Unless you're Brian Bosworth or Bob Stoops, you got no business saying anything like that to a college athlete.
Exactly. And the thing about that kind of stuff is if one of those guys wanted to say something to one of those kids, they'd do it in private.
Exactly.
Because they would do what they've always done. They would be a coach. They would be classy. They would be a teammate.
Right.
When you're just out there just trying to be internet tough guy because nobody can get to you and wring your neck.
You never know.
Then that's how you behave.
Yeah.
What's funny is my name is on my account, so it wouldn't be hard for somebody to find me.
Yeah, mine is too. I mean, on my personal account, you know,
But I'm not going to be an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
And,
personal account,
that's
I don't
the
have
thing,
anything
too.
to
A lot
hide.
of these people, though, they don't, and then they hide behind their stuff. And,
Yeah,
But I will
and then
tell
they
you
act
this:
like assholes.
it's been some years since I've ran around the block. Now I've been around the block a
It's been some
time or
years
two.
since I ran around the block, too, but I row at the gym, and I do yoga, so...
you row at the gym.
I have a pistol.
Yeah, I use the rowing machine. That's the only cardio that I really don't get annoyed with.
Yeah, did you hear Rob?
Uh-uh.
I have a pistol.
Yeah. Yeah, me too,
I'm just
because
saying.
I'm tiny.
I will bust a cap.
But my personal account, which I'm hardly ever on it now, that I do the podcast stuff, and I don't hide the fact that it's me who does it,
Yeah.
But my Twitter account is Terry Long 5150.
Not hard to track you down. Is
Not hard to track me down.
And
No.
incidentally, that's the last four numbers of the Social Security number. So
Oh my
I'm
God.
just saying.
No. It's the first album of Sammy Hagar with Van Halen.
Oh, well, see, there you go. That's very meaningful.
Exactly, and it's also the the police moniker. You have everything has a number.
Yeah.
I don't know what a homicide is, but
187
187. Is that a homicide, Rob?
from Demolition Man. That's murder, death, kill. Murder, death, kill. 187. I know it's got to be legal. I mean, I know that's what they use downtown.
Demolition Man.
I'm gonna call Scotty. I'll say, hey, what is 187?
Yeah, MDK.
Murder, death, kill. You seen the movie?
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
Yeah. But anyway, no, 5150 is the police moniker or whatever for criminally insane.
Oh. Oh.
And it was also the street address of Eddie Van Halen at that time. It was whatever street he lived on. It was 5150, and the name of their studios is 5150 Studios.
And Terry's Social Security
okay.
number.
And my Social Security number.
Yeah, and obviously it's the last four digits of your social. It's the password for your phone.
Yeah.
Bank account.
Bank account.
Yeah, you have my PIN number for my debit card.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, don't tweet kids.
I think that the Kansas game, if we don't just go out there and destroy them, I'll just be pissy. I wanted to go out and destroy OSU, and that was super stressful. My chunky girl heart was like racing the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Mine too.
You didn't know Rob had a chunky girl heart, did you?
I wear pink on occasion. Only when the red has faded. I'm just saying.
Oh, we have digressed, haven't we?
Yes.
We've just, it's just gone down.
It's just gone downhill.
All right, then.
But, anything else you want to talk about, Adrian?
No, I think I'm probably ready for my wine.
Well,
we don't need to delve any further into my alcoholism.
yeah,
so.
there you go. Well, I think what we need to do is think about it over the next week, and maybe start you a second Twitter as Sooner Mother Hen, and these guys that tweet, the athletes and recruits dumb shit. You go after them.
I should do that. I should just start making dudes cry.
It's a brilliant idea, isn't it?
It is.
So, something to think about. We'll discuss it more next week, okay?
All right.
Boomer Adrian.
Boomer.
Yo, Adrian.
Well, there we have it. Our favorite Forest Witch.
Podcasting like a champion today.
Yes, the self-proclaimed goddess of tacos and beer.
Yeah.
We always love having Adrian on and her wonderful perspective on beer, life, and all things Sooner football.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Would we believe that she's the goddess of tacos and beer if she was just like this tiny little thing? I mean, you gotta be a little thicker to be that, right? I mean, because tacos and beer. I mean, would we believe her if she was just like, you know, a little 90 pounds or something? We'd be like,
what'd she call it? Her chubby little heart. Is that what she called it?
Right, that's what she said. Yeah.
Chunky little heart or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, but you know, again, everybody, we hope you enjoyed the Tailgate Like a Champion. We talked all things other than Kansas football because it's Kansas football, for crying out loud.
Right.
So it is what it is. I'm still picking 58-57 because I have 100% none faith in this defense to do anything. Yeah. So hopefully that'll pay off. You know what I mean?
I do. I think that you know, the people are laughing at them, and hopefully that
the national media is eating us up.
Oh yeah, we're just getting torched. So hopefully they come out with a little purpose, and you know, I mean, Kansas is not good.
Nope.
And
they aren't not.
Definitely not good. So hopefully they come out with some purpose and some pride, and they, you know, they just get after them and
stop them. Get a red zone, a red zone stop. A
red zone stop would be nice. A turnover would be nice. A third
Pick
down
six.
stop. I mean, you know,
all the small things defenses are supposed to do is all we ask.
Well, now we're fans that are relegated to, hey, we're happy because we got a third down stop.
Right.
Not that we got a shutout, or not that we, you know, got a pick six. And, you know, we stopped them on third down. Yay. Oh, but they went on for it on fourth and goal.
Yeah.
So
exactly. All right, everybody, come out to the tailgate on Saturday. We'll be set up on the corner of Jenkins and Brooks, right in the middle of everybody, at noon until kickoff, and then for maybe a little bit after kickoff, but if it's cold, maybe not. But we will definitely be there until the game kicks off. Please come out, say hi. You can stay the whole time. You can come and go. People do both. Feel free to come out and enjoy some good Sooner fun, some good Sooner family, and hang out with us for a bit. But that's the podcast. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Jerry.
Thanks for listening to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Hit the subscribe button right now on whatever app you're listening to download every episode as they come out. Check us out on Twitter and Facebook and on YouTube. Boomer Sooner.